Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a level 20 Shadowheart build guide in Baldur's Gate 3. This is going to be focused on the Tempest Cleric while adding in the Storm Sorcerer. The combination is actually quite powerful, so I'll be breaking down all of that in this video. And actually the best way to start is as a sorcerer, believe it or not, because this will give us Constitution saving throw proficiency, which is very valuable. And adding in the Cleric later, since this is a subclass feature to get heavy armor, we won't miss out on our heavy armor. So first off, we're going to start as a sorcerer. If you have Mistress Spell mod downloaded, this gives us much greater options. Normally you'd want Shocking Grasp and Ray of Frost. We also have Frostbite and Lightning Lure as other spells to go with the theming for this build. And for our spells, we're going to take Shield. This is going to be essential for just survivability's sake. And Magic Missile is also quite nice. Yes, it's not a storm-focused spell like Witch Bolt or Thunderwave would be, but we're going to get those from taking the subclass. So you may as well go with this because it's guaranteed damage, which is very nice. And for our subclass, there's two ways to go about this. You can go with the Storm Sorcery. We're going to get a lot of those spells, however, from the Tempest Cleric. So I think it's best actually with the Draconic Bloodline here, which will give us the mage armor built in and more health points. And with this, we're going to be taking the Blue Dragon Ancestry. So you can go with this here, which will give us Witch Bolt. There's also the cold one, but I think that this just works a lot better for the extra damage that we get. And then you can go with the no scales there. Some people didn't realize that you can go without the scales, so you can go that route. And then for our ability scores, I think it's best to build around our charisma and wisdom, but also having a good dexterity is important too. So something like, if you can dump your constitution, because constitution, you can use the constitution amulet with later on. So actually getting our wisdom up to 14, 16 dexterity, 16 charisma, this can work really well. Although if you're not late in the game, it might be better to dump the wisdom right now and focus more on your constitution. But we're going to roll with this because this is just going to be the strongest version of it. Now, I'll also be showing off the gear options that we're going to be going with for this, as well as a combat guide to give you the most effective way of playing this build. So, Shadowheart, very strong with this. We can also switch back to the Tempest Cleric at this point, but I think the Sorcerer is very powerful on its own. So, for our next leveled spell, we can go with Frost Fingers here. And then for our meta magic, we can go with something like the extended spell or twin spell, which is going to be able to give us twinned haste, which is broken, and then distant spell, which will increase this range by 50%. That's really nice. And at level 3 here, we're going to get the level 2 spells, and Snarl Snowball Storm can be a very effective one if you got Mistress Spells mod downloaded, but also Hold Person is great. And for our meta magic, we're going to go with our Quicken spell here for that bonus action spell casting, which is very, very strong. At level 4, we get to take ourselves another cantrip. I think that Booming Blade can be pretty fun here. It's not going to be super powerful. We've got other cantrips that we'll be using. And then for our next leveled spell, I think Hold Person just makes the most sense here for our abilities. And then we're going to take our charisma up to 18. Now, there's some gear that can make this very strong that we don't have to worry about our spell casting as much, but I'll get to that in a moment. Now at level 3 here, we get to choose another spell. And actually, I think that the best choice, believe it or not, is Tidal Wave via Mistress Spells, because this will set up water, knock targets prone, and deal a little bit of bludgeoning damage. You can also go with the Lightning Bolt. I try to create mods, so I have issues with my spell list right now. But yeah, we're going to go with that. At level 6, we get the ability to become resistant to an ancestral damage type, so lightning damage. And we now will add our charisma modifier to the damage of lightning spells. So it's a +4 to our lightning damage, which is actually quite huge. Now, normally we would get the ability to take lightning bolts here, but it's not appearing, so we're going to take haste. And then at next level, we got some great spells. So with the Tempest Cleric, the Tempest Cleric will get Ice Storm, but if you're not taking the Tempest Cleric just yet, you can take this at this level because of the crowd control. It's just extremely useful to have those ice surfaces. However, we do get it from the Tempest Cleric. So we're going to go with Lightning Bolt here at this level because it's just a nice straight line damage attack that can hit extremely hard. And then at next level, we can take another spell, but we can also go back to some previous levels here. If you want, you can take something like the Storm Sphere, which makes sense here. So in a ball of electrical energy on each of your turns, you can shock an enemy standing within it as a bonus action. So that can be pretty effective there. You can also go with like an Ice Knife, I guess, or we're going to get Shatter, which is another fun spell to use. So if you want, you can take Confusion for a bit of crowd control as well. It's another great choice, especially since we're going to be getting a lot of these other spells from the Cleric itself, even things like Thunderwave, which I love. But next level, I would say taking our wisdom up to 16 is going to be a good choice, preparing for what's next to come. But we can also alternatively take our charisma up to 20 if we wanted to for extra damage. And then at level 9, we're going to choose ourselves. I think Cone of Cold just makes the most sense here. It's cold damage, which will be doubled when we have water set up, and Cone of Cold will also make difficult terrain for us, which is very, very effective. We can take another cantrip here and another spell. Insect Plague is nice, but we do get that from taking the Cleric, so we're going to go with Hold Monster here. And for our meta magic, I think that Extended Spell, Careful Spell, and Heightened Spell are also all good choices, but I'm going to go with the Careful Spell. Actually, Subtle Spell can be nice if you're silenced. We can go with that, because typically you'd be only able to cast Ice Knife if you're silenced. Here is the big level, so we get Fly as a move and speed, doesn't use our bonus action. And we get Chain Lightning, which I'm going to show you how to get the most out of. Chain Lightning, very strong spell. We can stay here to get a feat, but I actually think it's best to go Cleric at this point, so we can take ourselves the Cleric cantrips. You got Guidance, you got Toll the Dead if you got the Mistress Spell mod. And then we're going to go with the Tempest Cleric, which will give us the Thunder Wave, the Fog Cloud, and Zephyr Strike, but also the reaction to do lightning or thunder damage to a target. We can choose a deity, obviously we're going to keep it as is. And for our prepared spells, I like to have Create Water because this will double the damage of our cold and lightning spells. I also like having Command because this is nice just to be able to command a target to stop moving. And then we can go with ourselves with Healing Word, and then also Bless is a nice option. Sanctuary being another good bonus action choice that we can go with. And now at level 2 we get our Destructive Wrath. This is where the build really comes together. You can use your Channel Divinity to deal maximum lightning damage. So that Chain Lightning that we have, we can make it so that we roll 80 damage, which becomes 160 with water set up. So you can see where this is going. It becomes very strong. For next spell, Sanctuary is not a bad one for survivability. Any extra survivability is good. And then we get ourselves the Shatter spell here, which is great damage. And we have to pick a couple more spells, which we already have ourselves Hold Person, so we'll take the Spiritual Weapon there. Hold Person being obviously a very strong spell. And level 4 Tempest Cleric, we can take another cantrip there and another spell, which Aid is not a bad one. And then for our feat, we can go with Ability Score Improvement to take our Wisdom to 18. However, you can also increase your Charisma if you wanted to for better spellcasting that way. Now, once we get ourselves to level 5 here, we get Destroy Undead. And then we also get Call Lightning, which is a good option for damage if you don't want to use a lot of spells up, because you can continually call this down for 10 turns, and it's good lightning damage. We also get Thunderstep and Discordant Melody, which are pretty fun. But once we get to this next level, we get better spells like Spirit Guardians and Glyph of Warding. Glyph of Warding you can set up to do a lightning glyph, which will also have extra damage. And we get the Thunderbolt Strike, so when you deal lightning or thunder damage on a creature that's larger or smaller, you can push it up to 3 meters. That's huge because we get a big pushback. And we also get another Channel Divinity. This is strong because more Channel Divinity, the better. We can also take Mass Healing Word because we have an item that'll set up Bless on everyone on our team. So it's obviously very strong. At level 7 here, we get ourselves the Ice Storm and Freedom of Movement and Storm Sphere. So that's really nice because those spells are quite strong. We can also take Control Water if we want to. That's a pretty high price to pay for a level 4 spell. So we'll just skip that and take our Guardian of Faith. At level 8, we get the Thunder Strike, which, fun fact, if you have hand crossbows, that will target and do this as well. So sometimes you can just do your spell casting for a turn and then get this additional weapon damage plus thunder damage on a crossbow attack, and it also will give you a pushback. So that's really nice. For next level spell, Animate Dead can actually be a pretty fun spell to take. Even Guiding Bolt if you don't take it previously. And for our last spell, we're actually going to take up our Charisma here, because this will increase the lightning damage that we deal, and also Chain Lightning is going to use that for its spell casting. And at level 9, our final level, we get the Desiccating Pulse here, and also the Insect Plague. This is supposed to be Destructive Wave, but I have a mod that's interacting with it and it's changing it. So normally it'd be a thunder damage on Psychic and Necrotic, which actually sucks a little bit more on this build. But it's just, I guess, the nature of modding. Sometimes it does cause issues. Then we can take Flame Strike here. Now, the thing is with the Destructive Wave, it's thunder damage with a big pushback, and it can be quite devastating. Now, what this ends up looking like, for gear options, I like to go with the Hood of the Weave for the increased spell save DC and spell attack rolls, Cloak Protection. You can also switch out the Deathstalker Mantle if you have it. I went with the Armor Persistence because heavy armor is something that we have proficiency in. So this will reduce all coming damage, give us resistance and blade ward. But you can also go with a light armor. We have 25 armor class here, but if you go with this will reduce our armor class to 22, but give us a Create Water, and also it's a level 4 Create Water, which is pretty big radius. You also get resistance to fire and cold damage, so that can be another nice choice, but the Armor of Persistence is just stronger, so that's what we go into here. Gloves of the Bliggering Skies. Whenever you deal thunder, radiant, or lightning damage, you stack 2 turns of reverberation on the target. Paired with the Boots of Stormy Clamor, Whenever you inflict a condition, which ability drain, the Illithid ability is actually an ability that will stack this. So we can stack 4 turns of reverberation here. I want the Amulet of Greater Health as mentioned previously. The Whispering Promise, when you heal a creature, gets a 1d4 bonus to attack rolls and saving throws for 2 turns, which is very, very useful because we can buff our whole team basically with a single bonus action level 3 spell slot. Then we also get the Ring of Protection, and I'm also using the crossbows in the offhand. Put Nair Mister in the offhand because this is force damage, which will be force damage plus lightning damage, so that actually becomes very strong. Now I'll show off what this looks like in combat. Now for combat, I'm just going to take out my frustrations on these guards here. And with this, I actually think one of the best ways to set up is by using our Tidal Wave spell, because with this we can actually set up water in a huge area and it'll knock everyone prone, so that's also nice too. So we'll just drop down a Tidal Wave right here, hitting as many targets as we can, and this will get us started into a fight so that we can just start blasting away. Now, one of the best ways to actually start a fight did not roll great initiative, so that's unfortunate. But typically we'd want to set up with like a ice spell. I'm just going to skip my turns there. Normally I would have done like an ice storm to turn all this water into a difficult terrain, but they're just going to shoot at me here, and that's okay. Now I'm not sure why they all line themselves up so nicely here, but we're going to take advantage of that. So we can go with a Cone of Cold, but I would ideally like to hit all the targets over there. So a Chain Lightning can be pretty effective. They'll literally just delete all the enemies over here. So that's what we're going to roll with, because Chain Lightning is really strong. However, we can also go with a Lightning Bolt, because as you can see, we're going to hit a number of targets here. So this can also be quite effective. And yeah, we can also upcast this. So going upwards in levels can actually really do a number on them. So we'll go with upcasted version of Lightning Bolt here, trying to hit as many targets as possible. And we're going to also roll our Destructive Wrath on 16 targets. So 154, 154, 154, 75, 75, 75. Yeah, anyone that was wet is now dead. So that was really good. And to follow this up with another one, we also got ourselves Quicken Spell here. And we can just drop another Lightning Bolt here for maximum effectiveness. This is where the build becomes just borderline broken. Sometimes you can even line it up so we can hit multiple targets. We hit 7 here with Destructive Wrath. Boom, 106, 53, 53. Yeah, I was going to use Chain Lightning, but that Lightning Bolt just did it for us. So pretty much took out everything here. You could see the top bar was filled, and now it's quite empty. So that is insane, the amount of damage that you can do as a Tempest Cleric. It's pretty fun. Obviously this is like under peak ideal circumstances. I was able to take them out with the psychic damage. Of course, they're going to throw and we block because we have a good armor class, and even if we didn't block it, we would resist it pretty well. So there's 2 targets left, and with this we can also just go with a nice Cone of Cold here to get a little crowd control in, just because the ice surfaces are so nice. But then we can also go with a Chain Lightning here, which I'm not sure if that's going to be enough range. It was perfect. So that was pretty easy. Literally one turn we took out 17 plus 7. A lot of targets. Oh, we upset somebody. I'm sorry to them. Jeez, you get the pushback on your own lightning damage, which is hilarious. So yeah, that's obviously quite strong. We didn't even burn through that many spell slots. 2 Lightning Bolts and a Chain Lightning later, and here we are. So I'll just go get into a fight with some more guards over here just to show off, I guess, a little bit further what we can do. Tidal Wave being a very effective spell for setting up. So you just get into the fight here. And with this, then we can also go with a cold spell, because oh nice, we're getting some more guards here, so that's perfect. Look at that, the odds are stacked against us, which is exactly what we wanted here. They critically missed. That's perfect. I'll skip past their turn. Sometimes when I pause recording, things go very poorly for my character, and that's exactly what happened here. Somehow we still have 192 health, but I got hit with Tasha's Hideous Laughter while I was inside of Insect Plague, and then they continually kept casting command to my character. I was able to block a bunch of them somehow, but I guess we'll follow this up with a Cone of Cold, and we can upcast this because we got extra spell levels. Unfortunately, this won't let us hit multiple targets, but we can even go with like a Lightning Bolt that could hit 3 of them there. Call Lightning would likely hit them, and Chain Lightning can work too. I guess we got the chance of hitting them, so that's perfect. We'll go with that, and hope that takes, yep, perfect. That took out multiple of them, and that's exactly what I wanted. We created icy or difficult terrain there. We'll move out of that there, so we're no longer in the Insect Plague. That really stopped that from working. And then we'll also go with a Quicken Spell because we're getting blasted at by these targets up here, so we'll take them out of the equation. The Brilliant Society, the big pushback too. hoping that we'd be able to push him off the ledge, but that worked well. We can also then use fly to get to a more safe position. So yeah, we were getting pushed around pretty roughly. I guess we'll just leave it as that and hope we don't get hit with Tasha's Hideous Laughter again, because that was pretty frustrating. So we're thinning them out pretty quickly, and there's just a target up here which doesn't have a whole lot of help, so we can go with we could drop an ice storm there to make a bunch of difficult terrain, but we can also just go with another spell that's going to be a guaranteed hit, so we can just make sure that we can focus on the others here. So Witch Bolt's actually not the worst spell in the game. I don't love using Witch Bolt, but it's an option there that's not going to be awful for us to use. We can also just go with another, I guess, Thunder or Lightning spell, but yeah, we want to be able to hit as many targets as possible, so I guess for that we may as well just move our way this way and then hope that we can somehow, yeah, we can. I won't hit them up there, but we can maybe hit the targets inside of here that we're trying to fight. That might work. I don't know if the door will block it. We'll just see here. We hit them. We broke the door. We didn't hit him. I don't know what went down there. Oh, we did hit him. Nice. So that was perfect. That's exactly what we were trying to get done. Perfect. And then we also have a bonus action attack. So we can actually just use our crossbow, which I mentioned. You're going to see here, which will trigger the Divine Strike Thunder, which has the pushback. It didn't push him back. Womp womp. We'll just end her off there. Psionic Backlash for the win. We took him out with the psychic damage, and they tried to pull a Tasha's Hideous Laughter on us again. So yeah, we'll take them down because they're trying to make me laugh. Nothing's funny about this Tempest Cleric build. This is all just pure power. So yeah, they're hiding. I'm not going to attack Omaloom there. I didn't want to get them into this, but this is what happened. Oh, they dropped an Ice Storm too, which is exactly what I wanted to do right here. This is sketchy because yeah, we have the potential of falling even if we fly. Yeah, it's not ideal. That's really not ideal. So I guess we could just go with another lightning bolt to hit them with that and hope that they do get smashed by it. Perfect. That didn't work as well as I wanted to, so I guess we can just quicken another one. This is our last quicken spell, so we may as well make it worth its while and blast them with a very heavy one. It's funny how quick the other guards fell. 52, 56. That took them out. That's exactly what we wanted there. So now it's just a 1v1 while they're hiding in that room. You're as good as dead. I guess not, because you didn't come after me. So, oh, now we're going. Oh, I don't want to fight Omaloom. I might just call her there because I couldn't hurt him after everything that we've been through, especially not Blurg too. They're too pure for us, so I don't want to hurt them. So yeah, that is a level 20 Tempest Cleric build guide in Baldur's Gate 3 for Shadowheart. Very strong, as you can see. We were able to delete a bunch of those at the start of this video just by literally just launching our lightning bolts with the Channel Divinity, which is very strong. There's also an amulet that will give us an extra Channel Divinity, which is probably the most powerful choice here. So it's restored upon taking a long rest. So yeah, this one can also give us increased spell save DC too. It works great if you don't want to worry about your constitution. But yeah, let me know your thoughts and comments. Hit the subscribe button below if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in the next video.